Welcome back. It is 5:12 on this frigid Thursday morning. Temperatures down into the teens area-wide, 15 in Murphy, 16 in Athens, 13 in Altamont, 19 here in Lafayette, and 20 in Chattanooga. But here in North Chattanooga, we're reading 18 degrees. Light winds out of the north making it feel even colder. And this is the coldest morning we've had area-wide all winter long. Feels like 9 in Blue Ridge, 4 in Altamont. So wind chill values well into the single digits along the Cumberland Plateau. That air is very cold, and that's another thing to consider as this moisture moves in tomorrow morning. The ground is going to be frozen solid, so anything that falls is going to stick pretty quickly, even to the roadways. So just be mindful of that as you get out the door tomorrow morning, especially. Winter storm warnings now in effect, and those pink shades still have a winter storm watch for most of our coverage area. That will likely be upgraded to a warning or an advisory later on. I'm leaning towards warning. We do have warnings, however, in effect for Van Buren and Jackson and DeKalb counties, even Grundy County now under a winter storm warning for Friday. Again, this is primarily going to be a Friday event now. We have that low pressure starting to get going across Texas. You can see that snow, freezing rain breaking out. We're going to have a surface low develop a little further to the south off the Gulf Coast. That tracks along the Gulf, and then that's going to spread that moisture into the Tennessee Valley and much of the southeast beginning tomorrow morning. So here's a look at your latest arrival of snow. I've updated this once again between about 4 and 6 across North Alabama, coming in as temperatures are very cold here across Chattanooga, Dunlap, Athens between 6 and 8. So now it looks like it could impact the latter half of your morning commute into your lunch hour, and then after 8 for Northeast Tennessee. So let's take a look at your Futurecast. This is our in-house model. There are big differences between the global models and the short-term models at this point. So we're looking at the snow coming in again by about 5 o'clock, spreading across the Tennessee Valley. That dark blue indicating heavy snow. So during the morning hours, this is going to be an all snow event, and it could be pretty heavy. We could have rates over 1 inch per hour, so it could accumulate very rapidly through the morning hours. Now lunchtime, that's when things get a little more interesting. We're going to have that warm air trying to surge north. This is probably a little bit overdone in my opinion. I don't think the mix is going to go all the way up to I-40. It may not even move north of the Tennessee state line, but something we need to note of just in case. It looks like there could be freezing rain, sleet, and maybe even a little bit of rain mixing in if temperatures are to rise above 33 degrees. So that's something we got to monitor pretty closely. But again, there are big differences in what we're seeing. So the Futurecast snowfall with our in-house model, as we get into late Thursday and early Friday, you're going to start to see that accumulation picking up on a solid 2, 3, even 4 inches of snow here across the Tennessee Valley. So that's a decent little snow event. But then as we watch what's going on with our European model, which typically is a high performing model during any winter weather or severe weather, during the mid-morning, snow really starts to get heavy. And notice how that pink kind of stays south of the Tennessee line. So wintry mix still going to be possible in those areas, but most of those areas north of Tennessee stay generally snow until the very end, where we have a little bit of sleet or freezing rain on the back end of it, and that's pretty common with a storm like this. So snowfall totals, the latest GFS just came out and putting down 7 inches in Chattanooga, while the Europeans putting down 4.2. Now that 7's probably overdoing it and may not be encountering some sleet mixing in, but still that just shows you that we're seeing those differences. So what I'm thinking area-wide for now, about 2 to 4. Now, if we stay snow a little bit longer and that sleet doesn't mix in until later in the evening or not at all, these amounts would be higher. Have that 3 to 6 for northern Sequatchie, Grundy, Bledsoe. So these amounts are a little bit lower than yesterday, but still 4 inches on the high end could cause some issues, and that's depending on how late that sleet and freezing rain tries to mix in during the afternoon and evening. So as much as I hate to say it, there's still a lot of uncertainty with this system, but a very good chance that we're going to see a solid swath of 2 to 4 inches with those localized higher amounts. Some flurries lingering on Saturday, and then we're going to stay cold next week. We're going to have a couple more nights in the teens, so hard freezes every night through the middle of next week, and those impacts are going to begin tomorrow morning. So probably around this time tomorrow, we're going to track some of that first snow moving into parts of Alabama.
And luckily, a lot of schools have just already called it, so that gives parents and caregivers a chance to go ahead and make a plan if they need to for tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think that's the best thing because, I mean, it's cold out there. We know that, so it's going to stick very quickly, and road conditions are going to go downhill during the morning.
Expect to hear something from Hamilton County, the biggest county school system around here at some point soon, if not later today or tomorrow morning for sure. So pay attention, everyone. We've got the very latest throughout the rest of the weekend.